So I guess sometimes we all make a mistake, and today's video is about a mistake that I've just made. It's going to be a short video. So some background. When I started wedding photography in 2013, obviously things started slowly. I was doing my day job and I slowly built up my wedding business over about 2 years probably. At some point, I think it was 2014, I wasn't sure whether to continue with Nikon or look to some other camera manufacturer. I'd been using the D700, I was looking to upgrade to something else, and this was the reason why I was thinking about, should I change cameras at this stage? And one of the cameras I tried out was, I don't know if you can see this, it's the Fuji XE-1, sorry. I bought that with a, was it a 15 to 55 zoom lens or something like that. It was a zoom lens, so it had autofocus, and I have to say at the time I was really pleased with the electronic viewfinder, so I actually saw what I was photographing, the exposure and the depth of field. The autofocus covered a huge area of the screen compared to the D700. It was small, light, and the images were gorgeous, and it was a very close thing. And back then I nearly did change to Fuji. The thing that actually tipped me not to do it was the fact that that's a crop sensor camera, D700 obviously full frame, and I really wanted to stick with full frame. Jump forward to a few weeks ago, and weather's improving. I want to get out and take some shots for me, not just doing my weddings and families and b-roll and all the other stuff for other people, but get out and take some shots for my own personal sort of portfolio. Some of these go onto my art sales, print sales website, but only very few. I really just do it for me, and I wanted something that was different to my work cameras, so that I didn't feel I was at work when I was going out and doing photography just for me. And I thought back to this camera and I bought it, and I'm sorry, it's gone very, very dark, hasn't it? Let me just make this a bit brighter, because I think we're about to have a snowstorm. It's got very, very dark. Yeah, so I thought back to this and I thought, well, that's lovely. It's small, light. I can get a manual focus lens. It's got focus peaking, so I can just go out and shoot for me, use manual focus. Yeah, I thought it was going to fit the bill, so I bought one from MPB, and it arrived a couple of days ago, and you know what, it's a huge disappointment, and it just shows how much things have moved on. First of all, the EVF, it's tiny compared to, you know, my Z6. It's about a third smaller, the actual eyepiece, and the quality is just so poor compared to the Z6 and the Z5, the Z6ii and the Z5. That was immediately obvious. I do love the controls. It's obviously designed by photographers for photographers. Everything is in the right place. It's nice and easy to use. I like the menu system. I like the menu controls. And then I took some shots. And I took some shots with the Z6ii as well. And whilst back in 2014 I was extremely pleased with the image quality, now I'm not. A shot on the Fuji at, I think it was about 800 ISO, comparing to the Nikon, again at 800 ISO. 800 ISO on the Nikon, there isn't a trace of noise whatsoever. The Fuji has got noise all over it. Took another shot at about 3200 ISO, again compared to 2, and the Fuji is absolutely speckled with noise, again Nikon, no noise whatsoever. The Fuji still has got a bit of a sort of a pop to it. The images do have that look, but nothing that I can't create in Lightroom from the Nikon in 5 seconds. So it's going back, and it's just shown me just how good camera technology is and how much it's moved on in 7 or 8 years, to the point that I really couldn't use that Fuji. It's just so far behind the Nikons in terms of everything. So my walkabout camera for my own personal work is going to be probably actually the Z5, with the astoundingly good 40 f2 lens, Z mount lens, or the 28 2.8 lens. I've used these on 5-6 weddings now, over the last 6 weeks or so. Not as my main lens, but I've just tried them out and I've tested them so I can compare them to the 58 1.4 and that kind of stuff. And they're actually remarkably good. They really are. Now, I'm not saying that if I was doing this studio shoot to get a portrait shot or doing ultra fine detail product photography or something like that, not that I ever do that, but if I were to, I'm not sure that I would use this lens. But for what I do, weddings, and certainly getting the candid shots, walking around and just getting people doing their stuff and funny moments and that kind of stuff, absolutely perfect. Really small, really light, very discreet, perfect, and better quality than the Fuji. So that's the EX1, of course. Now, I'm not knocking the EX3, or is it the EX4? Because I'm sure they've upgraded. I'm sure they're a lot better now, and now the sun's come out and I'm way too bright, but sorry about that. But as I say, the EX1 in 2022, no, doesn't cut it anymore. So that's today's video. Just thought I'd update you with that. I'm going to now, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and hit the notifications bell, because my next video, which I'll probably do tomorrow, I'm going to start to look at ways in which I can improve my photography, and hopefully you can too. I'm going to run through some of the things I found out over the last, well, really since COVID, because we've all had a lot of time on our hands. Certainly I have. At many points I've had months and months and months of basically doing nothing. And I've been able to research and investigate and practice and read to try and identify what makes a good photo. And I'm not saying I've completely found the answer, but I think I've got some things which will help me in my photography and maybe help you as well. So I'm going to start a series, 4 or 5 videos probably, on improving your photography. And if you're a subscriber, then hopefully it'll pop up in your feed and you'll find it useful. Just to say, I'm talking about the photos that I love to take when I go out to do my personal work. It's things that I can print huge, hang on a wall, or can put into a photo book. I'm looking to actually create a photo book for sale. Photos I can put in there. So they're not street photography in the normal sense of the word. They will probably be taken in town, or maybe not, I'm not sure. But yeah, main criteria is it'll look good as a big print put on the wall. So I'm not talking about improving your bird photography, your astronomical photography, or that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff, the kind of photos that you would see printed and hung maybe in a gallery in some sort of exhibition or something like that. So do your stuff down below, and hopefully we'll meet again. Thanks very much for watching.